apps on this? All right, I'm getting to know we have lost the connection, but we have more news coming in. I want my guests to stay on with me. Now, we are learning that 3 fire tenders were rushed to the spot to put off the fire soon after receiving a call about fire at the accident spot. Besides that, a state disaster response force team also reached the spot for rescue operation. A fire tender with 4,500-litre capacity from Sira reached the spot. Later, another was called from Hiriyur fire station. Finally, one more from Chitradurga also joined the efforts to extinguish the fire. And regional fire officer have said that the Sira fire station in Tumakuru district received the first call at 2:15 a.m. and the 3 fire tenders put off the fire within half an hour. However, rescue operations and recovering the bodies continued up till 8 a.m. Now, Belly, take us through the details that are coming in terms of these 3 fire tenders that were present. When was the first call? They were getting to know it was around 2 a.m. And currently, when we're talking about identifying these bodies, what exactly are we getting to know?
Ria, the fire and emergency services were alerted soon after the people started seeing this 2 vehicles involved in the accident engulfed in the fire at the Hiriyur taluk of Chitradurga district. So approximately about 2:10 or 2:10 the calls were made is what the police authorities say. The distress calls were made to both Hiriyur fire services and Tumkuru fire services, and 3 fire tenders along with a dowser had arrived to the spot, and they started dousing the fire, and they were also indulged in rescuing people who were trapped inside the bus. But since the fire had already engulfed the entire bus, and it was there was also a kind of the rescue personnel were worried as to there was a fuel tanker also that was involved in the accident, and anytime there would be a heavy explosion if the temperature would have increased. So to ascertain all those safety features, it took time, and by the time the fire was doused, the bus had fully engulfed with fire and everything got gutted, and it was then that the police started looking into details as to how many passengers were on board that particular bus. And when they learned from the eyewitnesses that the lorry driver had died in the accident, and while the bus driver and the cleaner, who is also a substitute driver, has escaped, while around 10 people have been confirmed so far who have been killed in this accident, while a few of them suffered burn injuries, who have been admitted to the hospital. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Sai, I would like you to continue what you were saying about the previous conversation we were having.
I don't know broadly where I left, but what I'm trying to take or want people to understand is that this standard toolkit of accident and then investigation, then the fire tenders coming and making a big hue and cry of it, and the government talking about that we will attempt, we will change and all that. This seems to be a very, very standard sort of a camouflage sort of a story, and we have seen in last any number of cases that nothing has transpired out of it. If we want to take this whole thing further, first we would like to know what this investigation reports or inquiry reports has transpired into, and what action has been taken thereupon in last couple of accidents which has happened. Primarily on the Bangalore-Hyderabad highway itself. I am not talking about the complete country. Based on this road only, what all has happened. Second is that what are the standard norms in US and in the Western Europe. US has huge number of buses flying, so is in Western Europe. They have containers of 60 tonners moving all around the place, and very rarely we hear of an accident of this nature. Third is when we are leaving aside whatever the government has done and what the regulatory agencies have not done, and their competence and incompetence thereof. Finally, the bus or a truck or a lorry or a container, it is being driven by a human being. I'm convinced of the fact of whatever little I know of bus drivers and lorry drivers. I don't think there would be at least 10 to 20% of them. They might not be in proper medical condition. They might not
All
have a
right.
proper eyesight. There are variety of other things which is happening. Suffice to say that the current moment, it is only
All right.
the accident and the post-accident, and beyond that, it is forgotten till the time the next accident happens.
Mr. Sahai and my other panelist, I would like you to stay on with me, and even Belly. We'll continue this conversation in a couple of minutes, but for now, due to the paucity of the time, we'll slip into a short break.